YouTube! Tonight it's Lindy and Mr. Smooth coming to you from the Bougie apartment, and today I thought I'd talk about things that I've noticed that are just totally different living in China than they are in the US. And just to give you a little background, I spent 23 years in the United States, like from when I was born till when I was 23, and then I moved to China and I'm 25 now, so I've lived here for a little over a year. And I've just noticed stuff going about my daily life that there is no way that would happen in the US, or there's things that we do here that just kind of blow my mind. And the first thing that I was like, okay, we're gonna make a video and talk about this is that they don't do waivers. You know how in America, I remember doing this, going like with Girl Scouts to Adventure Rock, to go rock climbing, to join a gym, you have to do this. To basically do anything, you have to sign a waiver that says, oh, like if something happens, I'm not gonna sue. I'm aware of any like possible risks that may happen and I'm not gonna sue. Again, emphasis on not gonna sue. That's not a thing here. There's a mountain that's maybe 20 minutes away that we sometimes go to on our days off, like the other ESL teachers and me. And we just go and we ride four-wheelers there. And how it works is you give them the 100 kwai, and then you ride the four-wheeler till the tank runs out of gas. And there's no helmets. You don't have to provide like a driver's license. You don't have to provide a proof of age. You don't have to do anything. You just fork over the money and you just go. And this isn't a nice little organized track. This is like roads where cars drive on, and there's other four-wheelers driving, and it's just crazy. I had a few near misses with the cars. One of the other girls actually drove her four-wheeler into a car, and I'm actually really surprised, like, you don't hear about people dying up there, but you don't. And I was thinking that would be an American lawyer's either worst nightmare if somebody asked, like, oh my god, somebody got hurt and now they're suing. That would either be their worst nightmare, or the people who got hurt, I think they would have a field day with that and they could get so much money from that. But here they don't do the waivers, they don't do lawsuits. And there's a little theme park by my house, and if you go, it's kind of weird too that, you know how in America, how if you go to Six Flags or something, you pay your $70 for a ticket and then you go in and then you just get online for the rides and can go on whatever you want. Here there's no park admittance fee, you just walk in, but if you see that and it's like, oh, that looks cool, let's go on that, you just go up to the ride and you pay like about $3.50 for each ride that you want to go on, like per time. And I don't know, I guess depending on what you like, that's fine. But I know in America for Six Flags, on the back of the ticket, that's actually a waiver that says, oh, if you buy this and you go into the park, you're accepting the risks and you can't sue us. Yeah, here that's not a thing. You'll walk in, you give them the money, and you just get on the thing. I think if the ride were to like fall apart, you could sue because there's nothing that says, oh, I accept the risks, blah, blah, blah. It's just interesting. And I know America is a sue-happy country, and I guess growing up there, you kind of learn to think about that. And it's just weird to see that it's not prevalent in this country. And even with that, I don't think that China's right. I don't think that America's right. It's just something I've noticed that's different. Same thing with all the other stuff I'm going to talk about. I'm not saying America's right. I'm not saying China's right. Just this is stuff I've noticed from living in two different cultures. And what got me thinking about this was the holiday that's coming up. Tomorrow's Dragon Boat Day, so happy Dragon Boat Day if you celebrate it. And in America, if we have a day off, like due to a holiday or a government thing or something, that's a day off. You're free, goodbye, do whatever you want. Like, it doesn't matter, schedule doesn't change, you're free, it's a day off. Here, you have to make stuff up. And I was like, what? I would not call that a day off. I call that a schedule adjustment. And I guess that's just what they do here with the kids. If they have off for something, they make it up. If there's a snow day, which I don't think they have here because it's pretty hot, and I've seen snow maybe like 2 or 3 times last year and it didn't even stick. The kids don't have snow days, and if they did, oh, they would be making them up. In America, you're free, day off, goodbye. And then you kind of start where you left off. You don't go back and redo it. But here they do. And the kids for summer in America, at least my school, how this worked, was elementary and high school. The kids maybe get out somewhere around the 6th or like the 10th of July, and then they don't go back until September 1st. And there's no homework for them to do. And the teachers, it's like, okay, have a good summer, bye guys. Like, they don't tell them what to do, they don't tell them what not to do. Here, it's not like that. They get somewhere in the neighborhood of 2 to 3 weeks, and the kids have like a mountain of homework. My students have told me if you do it all, it averages out to about 8 hours a day. And I would not call that summer vacation. I call that a change of scenery, that instead of doing schoolwork at school, you're doing homework at your house. So yeah, that's not a break, that's a change in scenery. And I feel really sorry for my students that they don't get to go to summer camp and do all the stuff that American kids do. And I think it's kind of interesting too that they have homework. And in America, the teachers do not tell you what to do during summer vacation. And I had a class and I was asking the Chinese teacher about this. Okay, so like what's appropriate to say and what's not, because we were talking about dating in the lesson, and this was maybe like a lesson for 11 and 12-year-olds. And the Chinese teacher said, oh, they are not allowed to go on dates until they're 18. Their parents won't allow it. Their teachers won't allow it. And I'm like, what? Because I'm like, what do you mean their teacher won't allow it? Like, are they my students? Yes. Do I care about them? Yes. If I thought they were being like physically or sexually abused, or if they didn't have any food, would I say something and try to help them? Yes. Can I tell them not to play violent video games? Can I tell them not to listen to a certain kind of music? Can I tell them what to do and or not do? No, I would not feel that it was my place to tell a student like, oh, you can go on a date, or no, you can't. It's like, I'm your teacher, I am not your mom. I can't tell you what to do. But here the teachers can tell you what to do. And if the teacher says, oh, I don't want you to go on a date, like, no, that's not allowed, you need more time to work on school. Okay, that's the way it is. Like, I guess teachers dictate what the kids do. And I'm not sure I like that kind of responsibility. I like it when I come home and it's just, I worry about me and these spiky little balls of love. And I guess if I saw my student going on a date, like one of the older ones, obviously, okay, I'm not going to say anything. Like, it's your life, you can do what you want. And I do think that's kind of a cultural thing where Americans are like, don't tell us what to do. And if you do try to tell us what to do, we get mad. Whereas I think here, like, there's the whole face thing, and I think certain people do have the expectation that they can tell you what to do and you have to listen. That being said, that's kind of like, I guess, a culture conflict, because my work, they have this thing where if you go somewhere outside of the city during, like, the weekend, or, well, I guess not weekend, we have Monday, Tuesdays off, so the 2 days that we don't have to work, or during Chinese New Year, or if there's like an extended holiday, if we plan to go somewhere outside of Baoji, we are supposed to tell them. I was like, why? And I guess with my visa, it's something like they have to re-register me with the police every time I go in and out of the country. And I'm like, okay, if that's for the police and the visa, that's fine, I understand that. But why, if I just went to like another city or something, why do I have to tell you? And they said, oh, what if something happened to you? And it was like they were looking at me like that was the stupidest question ever. But you know how in America, when you leave work, they can't tell you what to do? And that kind of made me mad. I'm like, no, I'm not going to tell you if I go to some other city. That's not your business. That's my business. And I think I'm just going to conveniently forget to tell them. And if you've watched some of my other videos, you'll know that I went back to America during this past Chinese New Year. They wanted me to leave a phone number where I could be contacted during the break. Again, I conveniently forgot to give that to them too, because in my world, vacation means you don't bother me. I don't want to think about work. I don't want to have anything to do with work. During vacation, I'm away. Goodbye. And that's totally different than an emergency contact thing. Like, I did give them an emergency contact number if I were working at school and I got hurt, that they would call somebody back in the States like, oh, hey, something happened to Lindy, earthquake, fire, blah, 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 blah. But if I'm not at work and something happens, that is not my work's responsibility. And I guess that's the American way of thinking. Like, you don't own me. Don't tell me what to do. don't expect me to check in. And yeah, it's just different. And I'm sure if I grew up here, I would feel differently, and maybe that wouldn't make me mad. But that's just something else I've noticed. And while we're talking about the teachers don't tell me what to do, I've noticed here that none of the high schoolers have part-time jobs. And in America, that's super common. Like, you go to school, and then afterwards, sometimes you go to work. Like, I had a job in high school. Most of my friends, there were like 7 girls that I hung out with. I think 5 of the 7 of my like close friends had jobs. And I said, in America, that's common. When I was talking about that, and they said, no, like, you can't. And I'm like, yeah, in America, you can. And they said, oh, that must be illegal. And I'm like, no, like, you can go get a work permit from the school, and that's fine. And after a certain age, you don't need a work permit, and you can just go. But here, that is not a thing. And I do think the reasons for jobs are different. College is ridiculously expensive in America, and you do have to kind of plan ahead, to be able to pay for it. And I know here that's kind of viewed as the parent's responsibility, like, this is my child, I will educate it to the best of my ability. And they don't really worry a whole lot about that, and the parents, like, save money for the kids to go to school. Like, the kids here don't get an allowance, and part of the culture is that on New Year's they get like red envelope money for New Year's. And my student said, oh, I got so much money, but then my parents took it. And I guess they take it for safekeeping to like pay for school later, or to pay for any expenses that might come up. Whereas in America, like, the kids get birthday money or Christmas money, they run out to the toy store and they buy stuff. Yeah, here, somebody might give you money, but if you're a kid, that is not your money. The parents will take it from you. And I'm like, oh, that sucks, guys. That sucks, guys. Like, I'm sorry. But at least at my school, if they're good, we give the kids stickers, and those act as a currency that they can buy, like, little toys with. So I do kind of feel happy for them that they have some opportunity to do that. And with kids being kids, in America, I grew up, and there was like stranger danger, where it's like, do not talk to people you don't know without your parents there. Don't get in a car with somebody you don't know. Don't give people your phone number. Don't give people your address. Like, stranger danger, stay away. If you don't know them, don't talk to them. Here, that's not a thing. That is not a thing at all. I understand I'm a white person, and in this town of 4.5 million people, you can probably count the number of white people on one hand. So I'm fairly interesting to look at, and kids will just come up to me and say hi, and they'll ask me questions, and I'm like, no, that's fine. They're just curious. That's fine. But yeah, stranger danger is not a thing. I had been here for maybe like 3 months, and I actually got abducted by little girls from a grocery store. Like, I was buying stuff, and I hear like giggling behind me, and I turn around, and it's this bunch of little girls. And I'm like, oh, hi, guys, like, what are your names, blah, blah, blah. Just be a good ambassador. Like, they don't see Americans very often, so, like, yeah, just show them that Americans are nice. These kids, I guess, decided I was, like, the newest member of, like, this pack of little girls. Because they grab me, and they're, like, dragging me around the grocery store, like, showing me everything, putting every free sample in my mouth. And I'm like, okay, like, can I buy my groceries and go home now? Please. But they're just dragging me around, and one of them actually like drugged me out of the store and drugged me back to her house. And I'm like, no, I'm not going in this house if there's no adult there, because that's just like an accident waiting to happen. But she knocks on the door, and there's this man holding a baby who is probably really surprised, like, oh, okay, like, you just brought like this random white person home. And I hung out at their house and met the baby, and they gave me the grand tour. And these were not my students. These were just like random little girls from the grocery store that proceeded to like adopt me and drag me around and give me food and take me to their house. Yeah, that's like the anti-stranger danger. And I'm like, that's kind of cute. Like, did I want to go home, and did this need to take 3 hours? No, but I guess I'm happy for them that they don't have to grow up in an environment where they're scared of being like abducted or abused. That no, it's like, oh, she looks nice, let's play. Like, new friend, let's play. That I think they get to kind of be more innocent like that, and I think that's something America like doesn't have, and like I understand why, but that's just kind of sad to me. Something I think we do have in America, because no place is perfect, no place has everything, is I think we understand that human beings need touch and affection, or if not, we get kind of weird. Here, they don't really hug the kids a whole lot. And I'm like, no, they're little kids and they're cute and kids need hugs. So, like, the only time I've seen a parent hug their kid was a few weeks ago when it was this little girl's birthday and she brought in a cake. And she was so excited to bring this cake, and we all sang to her, and her mom came in to take pictures, and she just ran up and hugged her mom. And in America, that wouldn't be anything out of the ordinary, like, oh, it's a little girl and her mom, and she's happy. That's kind of what they do. Here, they don't, like, hug their kids like that. And I was like, oh, yeah, you got to hug your mom, and I'm happy for you. But I don't see them hugging their kids. And in America, like, we pick kids up all the time. We give them rides on our shoulders. Like, just, they're little and they're fun to pick up. That's what we do. Here, typically when they're, like, not a toddler, like, once they can walk, they walk, and they don't get carried around. No piggyback rides, no strollers. Once they can walk, they walk. And I think that's kind of sad, because even as an adult, I like to be picked up. I get that not all adults like that, but I do. And I think the Chinese people stopped doing that a lot earlier than Americans do. So with my kids, if there is an opportunity to pick them up, I pick them up and they love it. And I've had students where, like, they know that I'll do that and they just like, Lindy, like, come here. And I'm like, okay, you want up? And they just hang on and I just carry them around, and it's a ton of fun. And I do respect their space. Like, if there are some that don't like it, okay, fine, I'm not going to make you. But those that have that need, that they want it, yeah, I don't just teach them English, I teach them about American culture too. So if they ever go to America, it's not weird to hug kids. It's not weird to see them being carried around. I think I'm helping them get used to it, and I like to think I'm helping fill a psychological void, because there's this one class where in the beginning the Chinese teacher's there and she's kind of grouchy and mad at everything all the time, so they don't do it in front of her. But then we have a 10-minute break, and when I come back, it's always, Lindy! And this one little boy, he'll run up and hug me, and that just starts a wave of kids that just come, and I'm like, oh, hi guys! And I try to get them all in. And yeah, if they want hugs, they know they can get them from me, but at the same time, if they don't, like, I respect their space. And I just think it's kind of interesting to see how they interact with me versus how they interact with the Chinese teachers. Do I think the Chinese teachers have it easier sometimes, that the kids are just like this and they're not talking or playing? Sometimes is that easier? Yes, but I like it when they're kids and they play and they hug me and they can just be kids for a little bit. Like, give it a break. You're doing schoolwork all the time. Even during the summer, you're doing schoolwork all the time. If I can give you like 5-10 minutes to just play, I think I'm doing my job, as well as teaching them English. Like, we do both. We play games, we learn English, so I think everything's fine. So those were like the big things that I had noticed, and I had a couple little things too, but I think I'm gonna make another video that's just like stuff that's different, health edition, stuff that's different, school edition. Those were just like the big things that I didn't think fit neatly in any little category. So that's about it. I will say goodnight for now. Happy Dragon Boat Day to those of you who celebrate it. Okay, thanks for watching, and I will see you later. Have a good day or night, or I guess evening, morning. All right, bye.